Hi, welcome to Bad Music Taste and Other Ways to Ruin Your Life. My name is Dominic.
And my name is Sam. Dominic has a record this week.
This week's record is New Radio by Bikini Kill. This is a repress on red vinyl, and the proceeds from this record went to Fund Texas Choice. On that, we have a new shirt out, and 100% of the proceeds are going to prochoice.org. Link in description. Anyways, today we're talking to photographer Jim Saah. How's it going, Jim?
Very well, thanks.
So, how did you first get into photography?
Well, I was in high school, and I wasn't really into photography prior to that, but I took a course in, darkroom. There was no digital back then, so I took a course in darkroom and film photography, and I really liked it a lot. And then shortly thereafter, I found out about punk rock, and then I was just like, I love taking pictures and I love punk rock, so merge them together.
Do you remember the first punk band that you came across?
Well, you mean live or the one I just heard, maybe?
Just the one that you heard.
Yeah, I was a big music fan as a young person, but I have a lot of older brothers and sisters, so it was mainly like 60s music, their music and stuff, which was great. The Stones, the Beatles, Bob Dylan, but then I went to see, there's this movie, Rocky Horror Picture Show, that was kind of a cult film in the 70s. It was still going on in the 80s, 82, when I was bored and some friends of mine decided to go to the midnight show of Rocky Horror Picture Show down in Georgetown, DC. And I didn't know it then because I didn't know any of these people, but a lot of punk rockers worked at that theater. Ian MacKaye, Danny Ingram, these were just their day jobs. They were also kids too. They were 17 at the time and 18. And so they would play music before the movie started. And they played punk rock, a lot of British stuff, the Stranglers, the Buzzcocks, the Ramones. And I never heard this music before at that time, and it just struck me almost immediately. So probably one of those bands was, maybe the Ramones or like or the Sex Pistols or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you mentioned Rocky Horror Picture Show because my mom was obsessed with that when she was when she was younger. So I've as soon as I was old enough to see it, I've pretty much finished that movie. So I thought it was funny you mentioned that.
Yeah. It I got sort of into it too. Like we went down a bunch of times, mainly because we just like the scene and the music and a bunch of weird people and stuff. And we got into like dressing up and stuff a little bit too, but then we just got more into the punk rock.
So aside from your work with photography and everything, what did you enjoy most about the film of the realm of film and directing for things?
Oh, for the movies I worked on. Salad Days was a movie that Scott Crawford and I made together. He wrote it and directed it. I filmed it and produced and edited the movie. So I was intimately involved with that. The aspect I like most about doing films is shooting them because that's my love, photography and video and film. So I really like shooting them. I do like editing as well. That's sort of when that clicks, when you're editing and you are looking for something and when you don't have it, there's a few scenes in Salad Days where Scott just do this, do that. And I was, and then when you get it, it really feels great because almost immediately, like the ending of the movie where it's all this old footage of kids going out to have a concert outside. And I had all this footage. It was on Super 8 from one of the people that were involved in the scene. And it was very shaky and moving all around. And I looked at it and I said, damn, this is good, but it's I don't know if I can use it. but I slowed it down quite a bit, and then I put that song "Swan Street" by the band Three over it, and man, I just got goosebumps when I watched it. I was like, "This is the ending," you know. And then Dave Grohl said something really good in our interview. So coupled with that, you know, I knew right away. I said to Scott after the Grohl interview, I'm like, "We have an ending," and he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, recently I've been reading Spoke,
Yep.
which I can tell has like a lot of like it's very like tied in with Salad Days. Did you have any or did you work at all on Spoke as well?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It was kind of a companion piece to Salad Days. Some of the quotes and interviews that we didn't use in the movie, he used in the book, and I have a lot of photographs in there. Probably, I don't know how many photos are in the book, but I probably have like a third of the photos, something like 60 some pictures in it. So yeah, and there's a couple quotes of mine. So yeah, I definitely worked on that as well.
Okay, cool. Um, Speaking of which, you have a book coming out soon called In My Eyes. Why did you decide to make your book, and what does it entail?
Well, it's a big uh, kind of history of my work. It covers 1982 to about 1997. It's all of my work on film. It's all black and white, and it. I thought about doing a book for. I mean, I've been shooting for 35 years professionally and stuff. So I've always thought about doing a book, but you know, you get busy, you got to work and make money, you have kids. It's like, it's a lot of work, and it's just like, it just didn't happen. But I met these guys, this publisher, when we went to Argentina to show Salad Days. And I met this guy, and it's really cool, and he really wanted to do a book, and so I decided to do it with these guys. And uh, it's like, it's like any other not like many other punk rock books of photography you've seen. It's 12 inches by 12 inches. It's 330 pages. It's like a big coffee table art book. It's pretty massive and beautiful, in my opinion.
Who's the publishing company?
It's they're called Cabin One in the United States. It's Walden Publishing in South America. They are a small press. Until now, most of their books have been in Spanish language. Like a lot, he reproduced Spoke in Spanish. He got the licensing for that, so he did that, and he did the Punk Planet book. He's done several books that are already out in English, and he redid them in Spanish. And then he's done his own stuff. But this is his first English language, and they incorporated it in the United States now. So it's cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and on that topic, what would you say it was like when deciding like which photos and interviews to include for the book? Like, was it more of a selective process or?
Yeah, it was a big selective process. I mean, I don't know if this is just an audio podcast or an audio video podcast, but
Yeah, we do video too.
Okay, well, those file cabinets back there are full of all my negatives, and I have thousands of negatives, probably tens of thousands of individual frames. So, yeah, I luckily this job would have been way harder if about 10 years ago I had the foresight to think that I should just scan all my negatives, and it was a multi-month process, but I just did it in my, leisurely over months. And so it made when it came time to pick the photos for the book, it made it way easier. I just looked at everything on the computer, narrowed it down, select, narrow it down, keep narrowing it down. And that's how I got, like, I should count the pictures in the book. People ask me how many pictures in the book. It's hundreds. I don't know exactly how many, but I selected those from thousands of images.
Is there like a timeline to it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not in chronological order. It's just in like alphabetical order by band. But it only goes from 82 to 97, but they're not in any real order other than
Um,
alphabetical.
and well, you've been front and center to a lot of the best punk bands ever. Do you ever feel like you sort of like miss the energy of the scene because you were behind the camera?
That's an interesting question because my friends at the time used to insinuate that by saying, don't bring your camera, just have fun, slam dance, jump off the stage, do whatever you want. But I really feel, and I talk about this in the intro of my book a little bit, where I was so into taking photos and that was such a part of it. Like I felt way more clued in and to what was going on. Like I paid so much, like if you're with your friends, someone's talking to you or like, you're jumping around, but I was just intently like concentrating on the show because wanted to know when to make a move to get a photo or something. So I really enjoyed the shows, I think, more behind the camera, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you were saying with that, do you think it kind of changed the way you saw it? Like there was a difference between the two, whether you were like taking photos or not? Would you say there was a big difference?
It's definitely a difference. A couple times I didn't bring my camera, by my friends persuading me or something, but I kind of regret it because I would see something that I didn't see another night, or like the punk bands always had crappy lights, they didn't want to be rock stars. So they're like, just, no light show, just put them down and leave them and stuff. So the light kind of sucked a lot of the time, but sometimes you'd go and there'd be better light. And I just wish I had my camera. So, uh, I mean, as far as enjoying the music, I don't think it was too much different. It was just a different experience if I was shooting or not shooting. And I enjoyed the experience of taking in the live music while I was shooting it a little more.
Well, Jim, thank you so much for your time. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I appreciate you doing it. It was a lot of fun for me too.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
Send me a link when it comes out.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, take care.